All right. Welcome everybody to our Soul Made Visible 2025 call. It's kind of the name that came to me. It is something that I say a lot. We are here to make our souls visible. So lots to say about that today. I'm going to keep an eye on anybody else who might be popping in into the room. But I want to start by saying just welcome. Thank you for being here, whether you're live or whether you're tuning in later on recording. Always get lots of notes saying, I can't be live, but I can't wait till the recording comes. So, of course, you are here with us. Even if you're listening later, it's all the now moment. So, thank you. Thank you for sharing this time and space with me. Welcome to 2025. Welcome to the Lunar New Year. Welcome to the Aquarius new moon. And we always have such an incredible group that gathers for our calls. So today we're talking about Soul Made Visible for this year in 2025. And I'm going to be sharing my top lessons learned from the On God's Payroll global event and the next soul project you are meant to bring to the world. And I will share more about that. Some of you may have read what I mean by that when I sent the note out the other day, but I'm going to dive into that a little bit more here. So we've already had lots of people chiming in from all over the world, different energies, different feelings. And so I'm going to share a bit more about the energies of this moon, but firstly, just some quick logistical or housekeeping things. I do recommend you have a pen and paper handy so you can jot things down as we go. I'm going to give some context for our topic today. As we start out, we'll do a little centering and grounding. We're going to I'm going to share some of the lessons that I learned. I'm going to share some energy reports. And then we're going to go into a deeper dive of meditation after that. So having a pen and paper handy is always helpful. I'm always saying take what resonates and leave the rest. So you're going to hear things that are meant for you. They're going to be obvious, right? Oh, that's meant for me. It might be something specific that I say directly, or it might be that something I say sparks something in your awareness or a download. Your soul starts talking to you in a certain way. So just capture whatever comes through as it comes to you. Also recommend to have some water. I've got mine here. Maybe light a candle if you haven't already. Set a little sacred space, or just right now, set the intention. This is sacred space for you and your soul and for this group, because we are all on the same kind of path. You wouldn't be on this call, if you didn't care about this kind of a topic. Make sure that your notifications are off. Whether you're listening in on your phone or iPad or laptop, desktop, just close tabs you don't need. Turn off rings and dings. If you're not on your phone and using it, maybe even put it on airplane mode. Just really set the space here for yourself and your soul, making your divine connection a priority. And with that, gonna start into our context for today. Um, because some of you might have heard the audio I sent. I sent sort of the first message of the year was on Saturday, on January 25th. That was the Parade of Planets. We had quite a line in the sky, and I read and I shared it in the note that I sent out, that it was 6 times the manifestation power. So I was really encouraging everybody to put some attention on your soul, even for 5 minutes. It's so leveraged when we give attention to our inner world, to our guidance. So I sent an audio with that. I meant it to be kind of a meditative experience. It wasn't a guided meditation, but just kind of tune in and see what jumps out at you. And some of you would have heard that, but some of you wouldn't. So I'm going to recap a few quick things out of that, without taking too much time. It was my first message of the year. I was mentioning there that it's been a slow start. I had decided, because 2024 was really expansive, very, very full for me, bringing On God's Payroll to the world. The speaker series, interview series that aired in November was a my biggest soul project to date. So I really was ripe and ready. And right after that, I led a group through my Master Your Frequency 4-week intensive, and it was very powerful. And we wrapped up just before the holidays. And so I decided I was going to take 2 solid weeks of staycation and unplug from social media, go completely offline. I did a digital detox, some people call it, and I did a physical detox as well, a 3-day water fast, and was outside a lot, and it was really, really beautiful. And then I had my dad and his wife come down to visit me from Canada, kind of a last minute trip. So they ended up coming the week I would have thought I might have been kind of easing back into things the week of January the 6th. But they came down for 10 days and then they ended up extending their stay. So we had a lot of fun. We did a trip to Mexico City. We did some really fun things, day trips and various things. It was just nice to be together. So my 2 weeks became more like 4, and that felt really right. And so I was saying in that audio that, may that be a permission slip for anyone who is finding entry into this year slower, a slower start. Many people don't see the start of the calendar year as the start of the year. Some people think it's more like now, the lunar new year, more like as we enter into February. Of course, we have spring equinox in March, and that is officially in the Northern Hemisphere, at least, when life starts to bloom again. So know yourself, trust yourself, enjoy whatever your entry into 2025 has been like. And also, we have had a lot happening already. So, if you know anything about numerology or saw my last message of 2024, I was sharing about that 2025 is a 9-year, and that is the end of a cycle, end of a 9-year cycle, which means a lot of completion. And by pretty much every astrological or energetic account I have seen, we are in for some pretty interesting things this year. I don't see what my sort of vantage point on it, because a lot of people talk doom and gloom. That's not my perspective. We do have a lot of endings of separation consciousness. That means that our institutions are collapsing. They were built on separation consciousness. They were built for a different time, and they reflected a different stage of our collective unfolding. And so while we may see a lot of disruptive things, and we've already seen them this year. Obviously, we had in the US, and I mentioned this in the audio, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. But of course, lots happening in the US with the fires in California, huge devastation, changeover of the presidency, big energy. And so, we're all affected by that, whether you live in that area or you live in that country or not. We are here for a collective shift, and we are here as bridges between heaven and earth. We are here to bring the new, stabilize, being bridges between heaven and earth, and bringing through those new systems, structures, ways of being and doing to replace the old ones that didn't work for everybody. And we're entering into the Aquarian age. I'm going to speak more to that in a few minutes. This is a major, major gear change. Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years. I mentioned in the note yesterday, I think, I am a triple Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Mercury. So it's like I've been waiting for this time. We've all been waiting for this time because we're all change agents, but there is something about my codes, my uh, lessons to transmit, codes to transmit. This is a whole new chapter. And so I'm here to support this transition from the old into the new. And so while much may be collapsing, our job is to stabilize into our souls, into the embodiment of our souls, and to bring through us the new. So not focus, not invest our time and attention into what is collapsing because it is meant to die. And so to to release ourselves from the things that are collapsing. And we have things that are ending in us personally, and then we have the collective. So there's always these two levels. So it's a lot, is really what I want to say. It's a lot, and we will have more happening this year. And our jobs as change agents is to stabilize in who we truly are, why we're here, and elegantly let go of the rest. So Saturday, the Parade of Planets, January 25th, was all about alignment. You know, those planets coming into alignment was a symbol. As I said, I say regularly, I don't believe astrology controls us. I believe we collectively agree that certain energies and certain patterns will end or begin at times for a large collective us, a large group of us paying attention to it at that time. It helps us. It's meant to be intentional when we know what these energies are and we can work with them. So that's why I like to highlight those energies and find them useful. I find them useful. So the theme of alignment was very much one around, well, it's always about alignment, but there was a boost around alignment on Saturday. What is no longer in alignment? Can you, with non-judgment, recognize what is no longer in alignment and what is in alignment? Where can you pour your dreaming time into what your soul is lit up by? That is what is right for you. So today, here, January 29th, we have this new year, a new moon, and also I'm going to speak to Aquarius season. So right, we're going to go into centering and grounding in a minute. I'm just going to say that for those of you who are still new to me, relatively new to me, I'll just summarize, my reason for being. My work in the world is about supporting executives and entrepreneurs to thrive in their soul work and leadership according to what's written in their soul blueprint. And that means aligning with the soul, embodying the soul's frequency, actually being that, elegantly dissolving what is not true, what is the conditioning that was picked up along the way, but that seems to interfere with being in the fullness of the soul's truth and why the soul's here, what the soul's here to do, and then taking action on what the soul says in order to make the soul visible. So all the spaces I hold, from a community call like this, a service to the community, to any of the containers that I hold, it's about hearing, trusting, and acting on your soul's truth and guidance. So that is what I've been coded for. It's my gift. I'm a rapid aligner, activator, accelerator of your soul's highest path. I stand kind of at the bridge between heaven and earth. I have a background in large scale project management for multinational companies. I know how to make things happen. And so for leaders who are here to bring the new things to the world, that's what I'm here to help recognize what's in the invisible and wanting to come into the visible. And so that we can ground it on earth, give it shape and form so that it can serve your people. Right? So the little summary about everything my soul work is about. And my question for you is, why are you here? Why are you taking your precious time and energy and focus to come to this call? What was it that spoke to you about wherever you saw that it was happening? What made you say yes to mark the time in your calendar? What is your intention? What do you want to receive here? That would be just something to right now tune into. If you want to jot it down, just take a moment and get clear for yourself so that this is as intentional and fruitful as it can be for you. I say all the time, and I've been hosting free community calls on portal days for many years now. I've been doing this work for 14 years. 2025 will be 15 years. I'm used to saying 14 years from 2024, but 15 years it will be this year. And having offered many community calls on these kinds of portal days for free, miracles can happen here. So say yes to that, give permission for that, tune into what it is that you want to receive here. and just recognize how much support you have. Support, of course, from me, whatever I can offer you, but also support from everybody that's in this space live or listening later. So there is a lot of energy in this space. So tune into that, tune into the energy of support, tune into your intention, what you most wish to receive. And as you begin that reflection process, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you can, depending where you are. If you can, just come into a more meditative space. I'm going to offer a centering and grounding here, and then I'll share the energy reports so that you can begin. We're deepening here, right? As you're listening, as you're starting to reflect on your intention, as you slow yourself down and tune your awareness inward, we're just going to start the process of centering and grounding. We're going deeper and deeper. The energies are grounding. And so as you tune in, making sure your body is comfortable. And if you want to share, I just received a sharing to help leverage my energy to receive, trust, and stay open to possibility. Thank you for that. Another comment to get all this new age relaxing, breathing into prosperity. Beautiful. And Penelope had said before, I didn't say it's the year of the wood snake. I didn't say yet, but it is in the reports that I'm gonna, I was saying Lunar New Year, new moon in Aquarius, 2025, and of course, year of the wood snake. So thanks for that. Sandra says fulfillment. Kathy, to find ways to be my best self in groups and relationships. So yes, if you want to be witnessed, you want to share your intention, you can pop it in the chat or write it in your journal or both. And as you're slowing down, tuning your awareness more inwardly, I invite you to just check in with yourself. How's your body feeling? Notice your body in the position that you're sitting in. Feel the surface below you that you're sitting on or lying on, any points of contact between your body and where you're situated. Another intention here is clarity. Thank you for that. And so just using your five senses, I always say, it's the simplest and fastest way to come into the present moment. Use your senses so you can feel those points of contact between your body and where you're situated. You can hear my voice. Even if your eyes are closed, there is likely light coming through your eyelids, so you're still seeing. You might taste something you ate or drank earlier. Might be an aroma in the air, flowers or cooking, or so just use those senses. Great tool to use anytime. And also another great tool, call all your energy back to you now. Any energy, attention, and awareness that's been scattered elsewhere by the mind, leaving it behind down the timeline of the past or scattering it out into the imagined future. You can just let all of that return to you from every person, place, or situation, every time, space, and dimension, so that you have this sense that your energy field is unified in the here and now. You are fully present, which is really important because there is only the now moment, and every bit of clarity, inspiration, insight, solution to some question or challenge, it's all in the now. Every timeline is in the now. Every version of you is in the now. That's where you access it. The quantum field holds it all. And I'm of the camp that we're not actually creating anything. We are navigating the quantum field according to the frequency that we're holding. So everything is here in the quantum, and what you put your attention on, where you hold your frequency in a stable way, is what will then appear to emerge from the field. You're actually awareness itself, not so much this temporary physical being, right? We're both, where we have to have the body and the mind to navigate the game, but it is a game in the sense that we're multidimensional beings who temporarily forgot our true nature. And now we're remembering, while we're in these bodies, we're remembering the infinite nature of ourselves and our ability to traverse the multiverses in an instant, while also being aware of what appears to be solid or finite reality, right? So there's a code right there. Receive that. Remember your power to transcend limits, your power to transcend conditions. So you've called all your energy back. You're available to the present moment and everything that is here for you. I would invite you also to drop a grounding column from the base of your spine down into the ground. If you're inside, it's through the floor, down into the earth. It travels down through the layers of the earth until it reaches a place at the center of the earth, or it can connect in or wrap around in some perfect way so that you are deeply rooted, grounded, held, tethered off at the center of the earth. And you feel that. You feel that the earth is holding you, or just know it, or just intend it. You don't have to, there's nothing to manufacture here. Don't try. Just intention alone is enough, but you may be aware of what you're connecting to at the center of the earth and how the earth is holding you, grounding you, supporting you, loving you. And you can allow the gravitational pull of Mother Earth to draw away from you all energies that don't belong to you, because we all have, or most of us have, a habit of picking up energies from others as we navigate the world. And also any energies that you're complete with. So we can hold on to energies that we just don't even need anymore. There's nothing left to understand about them or process about them. So just give permission for energies that aren't yours and energies that you're complete with to fall away down into the ground. So it's just this sense of lightening up, letting go. As the energies fall down the grounding column into the earth will recycle those. And you can just open to a sense of more space in your field, more openness, more receptivity. And it's from that place that I would invite you to listen in. Listen with your whole being. We're now here. You can also open your awareness. We're all here together. So allow your awareness to expand to include the whole group. Everyone with an overarching shared intention of making your soul visible, fulfilling your mission, living the highest expression of who you really are. You know, we could all say it different ways, but you wouldn't be on a call like this if you didn't share in the overarching intention that I'm holding for you, right? And then you have your own personal intention that you brought, but just expanding the awareness to include everybody who's on this kind of a path, and just give permission for anything that anybody else in this group receives to be available to you. That's how group dynamics work. That's how it accelerates all of us. This is an activation. We are in a powerful vortex together. And so as you listen, now I'm going to share the energy reports with you, just got a few, to presence the energies of this day and the opening of the portal of the year, according to the lunar calendar. Right? So this is a powerful new beginning. It's also ideal for clarifying and opening the way to what your soul most deeply desires to bring into form this year, whether it's the 2025 year or the lunar year, right? So here are a few of the things. So just listen with your whole being, not just your ears. Like we've centered, we've grounded, you're present, receptive, you set your intention. And now listen in with your whole being. Take what resonates and leave the rest. And if there's something that jumps out at you, you can note it down, or you can, it might be something I say, but as I said before, it might be something that your soul gives you while we're listening. You could, I've had, I've had experiences of people downloading whole business models in an instant while in a space like this, right? You don't even have to be listening to what I'm saying. The important thing is that you're in communion with your soul here. So you're open, grounded, receptive, present. And that is a beautiful soil to plant your seed in for what's next. It's a beautiful space to hear your soul. So let's start with from Divine Feminine 7777. On January 29th, we enter the lunar new year of the wood snake, a time for deep spiritual transformation and rebirth. The energy of the Kundalini serpent rises within us, shedding old patterns, beliefs, and attachments as we ascend to higher frequencies. Aligned with the Aquarius new moon, this is a time to break free from the old and embrace bold, innovative change. Aquarius calls us to trust the unknown and awaken to our highest potential. As we navigate ascension symptoms, fatigue, emotional shifts, body aches, remember that this is also part of our growth. Shed what no longer serves and make space for what's coming. Trust the process, surrender to the flow, and allow the energy of this powerful time to guide you toward renewal and transformation. And so as you hear that, you might just allow yourself to become aware of what is shedding at this time. It could be things you're aware of literally, like specific things, but it also could be something that you symbolically allow yourself to tune into. You could imagine yourself as a snake shedding its skin, or some other way that is intuitively right for you or that you are receiving. So just allowing that awareness of what is letting go, and that you are in a process of rebirth. And to really open to that energy, the Aquarian energy of bold, innovative change. Beyond what the mind can conceive, perhaps. Right? So again, you might have specifics come to your awareness as you feel these energies, you hear these words, bold, innovative change. Or you may simply symbolically receive something. Maybe that there's a symbol of that for you in your awareness and you're saying yes to it. So trust yourself and your process. I'm going to read another. This is also from Divine Feminine 7777, but different. This is specifically the Aquarius new moon. Now is a time of vision, freedom, and transformation. The Aquarius new moon invites us to embrace the essence of change, innovation, and individuality. Aquarius, the water bearer, is not about emotions flowing aimlessly. It's about pouring the waters of truth, progress, and collective healing into the world. We are guided to dream bigger, challenge the status quo, and align with our higher purpose. The Aquarius new moon symbolizes rebirth, shedding the old to create space for radical new beginnings. With the Lunar New Year, we are given a massive push into the unknown, dive deep into our soul, and ask, what unique gifts do I have to offer the world? What revolutionary changes am I ready to embrace? This energy might feel electric, inspiring, or even overwhelming at times. Aquarius invites us to follow our dreams fearlessly, but remain grounded, be present, and trust the process. And so as you receive that, there's more Aquarian energy in that, right? Radical new beginnings, massive push into the unknown, revolutionary changes, electric, inspiring, and maybe even overwhelming at times. And I'm going to speak to that in a couple minutes. Okay, follow our dreams fearlessly while remaining grounded. So just notice what's flowing through your awareness. And remember that, the nature of this kind of a space and this kind of an activation is you may get something an hour after we're done, or a few hours, or overnight in a dream, or tomorrow, or in the next few days. So know that you're receiving here and soften any reaching for or grasping for whatever the mind thinks it's supposed to get, right? Just receiving these energies, knowing that you're being activated in this space, and you will receive the right guidance for you in the right moment. We are going to do our deeper meditation in a bit. I'm going to share also one more, because I am Aquarius. I felt really called to read you the write-up from Alex Miles about Aquarius season, right? So the entire moon cycle of Aquarius before it switches to Pisces next. Aquarius season is here, and its bold electric energy will influence us all until February 18th. For Aquarius sun, moon, and rising signs, this is your moment to shine, but every zodiac sign will feel the ripple effects. This season is about breaking free, letting go of what doesn't fit, and stepping into a version of yourself that feels truly authentic. Ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation and change, Aquarius energy shakes things up. If you've been stuck in a stagnant situation, a relationship, job, or mindset, this is your chance to release it. It's a time to clear out the old to make way for the new and extraordinary. Relationships take the spotlight, pushing you to evaluate whether your connections are genuine and supportive. Inauthentic connections may fade, while meaningful ones grow stronger. It's also a time to dream big about your future and take major steps towards manifesting your goals. It's a time for daring ideas, bold moves, and trusting your unique vision. The world needs what makes you can actually read different, and this season gives you the confidence to show it. So again, just more Aquarian energy, right? Like just receive that, let that move some energy in you, receive whatever it is that you receive from it. And, this is speaking about, dreaming big, taking major steps towards manifesting your goals. Now, I'm a proponent of not goals from the mind, but devotional receiving of your divine instructions from the soul, right? From your divine level of self. But daring ideas, bold moves, and trusting your unique vision. I mean, these are Aquarian qualities that we all have. We all have every sign in us, right? This energy is now amplified. I'm amplifying it because I'm triple Aquarius. So allow yourself, I really invite you to allow yourself to be that bold, be that daring, allow yourself to receive the biggest vision here, not to be overwhelmed by it, because of course we can break it down. All big visions can be broken down into manageable bites, manageable steps. And that's kind of a great segue into sharing my lessons from bringing the On God's Payroll global event to the world in 2024. I call birthings like that, something like that, a soul project. It doesn't have to be as large as that was. I'll speak to it more in a moment. But what I want to invite here, as you've received those energy reports, as you're tuning into daring, bold, innovative, unique ways you're here to serve and make your soul visible this year, I want to just speak to that is what a soul project is to me. It's a vehicle to bring your soul into form. It's some kind of tangible offering that, and then it could be anything. So for me, it was a speaker series or a summit that was the biggest, sort of expression of my soul last year. Could be anything, could be a new program you're working on, a book you're writing, maybe you're updating your website, you're bringing a live event, gathering people in person. It doesn't have to be related to your soul work, but most people come into my world through that doorway because they want to fulfill their soul mission, their soul work in the world. So, whatever it is for you, that's what we want to tune you into because we've come to a place now where we're here to embody. We've done so much clearing, so much healing. It's time to embody the soul and live into it. And so the lessons and the codes that I have for you from bringing on God's payroll to the world last year is my intention here to, and when we go into the meditation right after that, my intention for you is that you receive insight into a soul project that is a vehicle for your soul to become visible this year, for your highest path and for the highest good of those you're here to serve. So the lessons from my soul project process is what is wisdom I hope will help you. My intent is that it helps you with the process of bringing your soul project into the world. So you might know what it is already or have had clues about it. But I've shared, I have 2 page. I mean, I was journaling about it all the way through my process, which was intensively about 4 to 6 months. It was 6 months, but the last 4 months were extremely intense. And so the first thing that I want to share as a lesson it was primary for the On God's Payroll process. And for anybody who doesn't know, because I think most of you would know, but I interviewed 22 leaders that I was called to interview as living examples or embodied expressions of being on God's payroll. So in right alignment with their work in the world, with abundance coming as a natural byproduct. So they're thriving in that, in being themselves, doing what they love, and abundance being the natural byproduct. So breaking the old relationship between work and money, that we somehow have to work for it, or that we think about money before we think about soul or God. Or alignment with our mission, right? And it can be very sneaky because the old conditioning runs deep and we don't see a lot of it, enough of it yet. There are lots of people who are on God's payroll already, but it's still relatively a minority compared to what we see in the world. So that was what the event was about. I started working on it more than a year before it happened in November of 2024. I started working on it in October 2023. Intensively about 6 months prior to November was when I was actively working on most of it. And it was hard. I'll just say it straight up. It was hard. It was hard because as I committed to it, it brought up loads of old programs. So for 14 years, I had been working in my boutique coaching business, working one-on-one or in small groups with executives and entrepreneurs. This was the first time I had done something so large scale. And the woman who trained me, Jocelyn Starfeather, if you know her, because she had done many, many, many summits. So she was my coach for that, how to do this. And basically, her guidance was, you want to get your message out. This is a powerful topic. You want to reach as many people as possible. Think about it like, on average, each speaker that you invite, they have enough presence in the world. Maybe they have an average of 5,000 people in their audience. You will therefore, over 20 speakers, reach 100,000 people with the message. And I had that in my intention. And so this first thing that I want to share about my soul project is my entire attitude towards it was, and I said every single day, thy will be done. That I was, use me. You've heard this before. Make me your instrument. The spirit of it was, thy will be done. Make me your instrument. And I would say every morning, use my eyes, my ears, my voice, my hands, my feet, my mind, my emotions, this body, this energy field for your will and your will only. Meaning, and I don't mean that as a separation from the divine. That's never what I mean. I Neha is asking. That was Jocelyn Starfeather was her name. She was the trainer. Carolyn, I'm so glad that you enjoyed that series. So it was thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. And in the end, I am certain because the amount of enthusiasm I had back from the invitations that I sent to the speakers that inspired me was incredible. I had to invite far fewer than most people do to get 20. I chose 22 instead of 20. I wanted 22 speakers. I ended up with exactly 22. And as the yeses were rolling in, some of them I knew, but some of them I didn't. Some of them I had done some training with them, but I'd never met them. I'd admired them from afar, and the amount of yeses I got. And I am certain that there were some other forces at play because I just kept saying, thy will be done. And in the end, those 22, we ended up reaching between all of their audiences when they shared about the event coming up. We reached more than 200,000 people instead of 100,000. It was closer to, I think, 250,000. So I share that, as my first lesson. And as you go forward into whatever you're called to create this year, make thy will be done in whatever words are right for you, central, because it's then beyond the individual. It's your mission, it's your purpose. The other second thing that I wanted to share was I got this lesson at some point along the way because when I say it was hard because a lot of old patterns came up because that is the nature of we set ourselves in motion with a vision and inspiration, and then we live into it and we have all kinds of stuff happen in the process that burns off the old. That is the nature of transformation. None of us gets away from it, right? So I had a lot of old workaholism patterns come up because there was an overwhelming amount of stuff to do. And I had help. I had a lot of help. And there was still like I could physically wouldn't have been able to do it without that help. So I had a right-hand woman, like incredible Kayla, for those of you who, and got to interact with her. She was amazing. Um, and because it got so overwhelming at times, like, how is this going to happen? I physically can't do it. Physically can't get this. I'm physically incapable of getting everything done. What I got was that the subtle, the subtle focus on outcome was creating an enormous amount of pressure for me. Like, well, I didn't know if I would get to 22 speakers, and would people say yes or not? And would people be interested in this topic? Like, would people even register and want to hear about this? Like, there were thousands of decisions to be made and thousands of outcomes, but the overarching big ones were like, how's it going to work out? Like, I want this to be a success, right? Old thinking. And so my second biggest lesson to share with you is I had a massive release of pressure and tension when I started to focus on the process as success rather than the outcome of success. And what I mean by process, very specifically, is I kept saying yes to what I was called to do. That was the success, regardless of whether it's quote unquote succeeded at the outcome level or not. That was a massive energetic shift for me and released an enormous amount of pressure. things flowed much more easily when I got that major second lesson. So focus on the process, which is just saying yes to what you know to do, to what your soul is telling you to do. Thirdly, was my morning routine became non-negotiable, like specific and repeated every day because I was used to having a morning routine, but like, yeah, I had a lot of flexibility with it. And some days I would feel more like this, and some days I would feel more like that. And there was something about the nature of the scale of what I was trying to do and how little time I had relative to what I was used to that meant that there were such the things I said, thy will be done, the movement in the morning, the um because I was sitting a lot, right? I didn't actually I usually move a lot. And because I had a lot to do at the computer, I had to like there were a lot of um lymph clearing things that I did in the morning, like certain things for myself and my body that just set the tone for the day. And somehow when I did those, and that morning routine is going to be different for everybody, or you're going to have to find your own things that for you are non-negotiable in that they put you in your soul alignment. Certain words I said, certain meditations I did, certain ways I cared for my body. I had this sequence in the morning that put me in my energy and put me in my frequency and gave me the feeling of being on purpose. So it kind of links to number one, thy will be done. Like it put me in that alignment on a razor's edge. And so the byproduct of that was my self-esteem, just my confidence doing what I was doing, regardless of what the outcome was going to be. So, um, let me just, I mentioned it. I was asking me for Jocelyn's name. Um, okay, so that was the third one. The fourth one, and I could say a lot more about all of these, but I also want to take you into the meditation so we have time. Um, The fourth one was the power of support. I have some of my supporters on this line here. Like I had, I think, four coaches through all this. So yes, my coaching support, but also my personal network, my closest friends, my besties who on the days when I was a puddle and under the greatest pressure, I could just say, this is how I'm feeling. And I just had a safe space to say it in the moment. Um, and I was so kindly and compassionately, loved and supported. And so who's your inner circle for that, right? Have support in whatever form. You don't have to have four coach. I had multiple coaches for different things, but find your right support, not before, but as you create, as you birth your soul project into the world. It's essential. And it was so beautiful because I felt like I was needing a lot for months on end from my closest contacts just because they heard me so much, moving through so much. And I'm usually a giver more than a receiver. And it was so beautiful to have them reflect back to me what a gift it was for them to hear my vulnerability, to witness me moving through my lessons. Um, it really moved me to tears on a number of occasions, how loved and supported I felt. So that would be one more. And I'll add a fifth, and then we'll go into our meditation, which is one of the speakers, Patrick Holmes. If you saw him, uh, and if you have the series, and you haven't watched it yet, I really invite you to. He's just delightful. Absolutely adore him. And we had a conversation. He wanted to talk to me after the event because he was so curious. He's like, Lisa, I want to hear like what were your takeaways? What were your biggest? And he asked me a whole bunch of amazing questions just out of his interest. One of the things was, what did you learn? What were your biggest learnings from the speakers? And I gave him a whole bunch, but I'll offer one here for you, which is the fierce power of their devotion, that they were moved so deeply from within around what they were doing, and that was what moved them through the hardest times. And that's what I had found for myself as well. But it's what I saw in them because they all had these epic journeys, and that's what put them on God's payroll. They had had to withstand the pressure of the old patterns surfacing and continue on regardless and find a way to transmute those and find a way to stay focused on the vision, find a way to cheer themselves on the hardest days or be vulnerable and have someone else help them on the hardest days. So that is the thing that I want to pass on to you is what are you so devoted to? And this goes back to number one, thy will be done. What are you so devoted to that it can move you? It can move you through the navigation from inspiration to the fulfillment of the vision. There's a middle piece. Bentinho Massaro calls it the 3-day process. If you've ever heard me talk about that, you get all inspired at the start of the hero's journey. But in order to come to, it's not literally 3 days, it's kind of a 3-phase or three-stage process. The first phase is inspiration. The third stage or day is the fulfillment of the vision, the celebration. But the middle part, the day two, is when you have to face the dragons. There is no getting away from that, right? So that's what I want to offer. And so I know some of you, yeah, thank you for your beautiful comments. Some of them are coming privately. I will read everything after. So let's go into our meditation. And, if you have to hop off, this will come in recording later. But I didn't actually say, I do always suggest setting aside 90 minutes for these calls. So if you were thinking closer to an hour, I'm sorry I didn't specify that for you, but you will receive it on recording. And so let's go into a deeper meditation here so you can come back to your centered focus on your inner world. And again, just calling all your energy back. Maybe some mind stuff got kicked up listening. Call all your energy back. Make sure your grounding column is still connected to the center of the earth. The earth is pulling away anything you don't need. And as you center, I'm going to offer one other thing that's coming to me to say. We could maybe add it as a sixth lesson, you might say. But I just want to say that in this process of a soul project that's right for you, you will become a different person. I have evolved. I'm the same person at my core, but so much burned off. So many of my patterns burned off. No, they're not gone. Don't expect them to be all gone and that I'll never have to, navigate anything challenging again. But the level of the feedback that I got, the gratitude I received, the miracles that happened for people, the beautiful messages that they sent about what On God's Payroll did for them, the level of interaction I then had with the speakers. As I said, some of them I didn't know, but I was now a peer, rather than sort of looking up at them. So it's it's a process where you will embody your soul more through a truly aligned soul project. And it becomes an identity shift. You become more of your soul embodied self. And so with that in mind, you're here centered in this moment. I invite you to allow a column of golden white light to start flooding in from above you, from the heart of source, and pouring into your body, your physical body, and the space around you, at least 2 feet on all sides. And this light, as it's pouring into every one of your trillions of cells and through your energy field, is bringing exactly the right energies, frequencies, codes for you for this moment. Right? This is your soul guiding this. You're receiving activation codes that are penetrating right down to your DNA, right down to the atomic level of your cells. You're receiving divine intelligence here that will come to your conscious awareness in the perfect timing. And as you receive it, let that energy upgrade the systems of your body, your nervous system, neural pathways in the brain, any other systems that are relevant, as well as your energy centers getting upgraded by this light. And let it also loosen and dissolve any energies that are a little more dense or stuck. I could use some extra help, and those are being washed down into the ground. So you have this sense of being perfectly suspended between heaven and earth as the bridge that you were born to be. A unique channel, a unique vessel, a unique bridge that's bringing from the invisible into the visible something that only you can bring. And so as we proceed here, I'm going to invite you to allow yourself to become aware of a time and place you felt most like yourself. A time and place when you have been in your natural joy, your natural aliveness, just expressing yourself, the essence of you. Sometimes I say, it might be that you were in a place that you really love that feels like you. It might be that you were doing a certain kind of activity that you love. It might be that you were with one or more people that really see the real you. And so just allow a time and place to come to awareness. It could be a past memory, or it could even be a future one that's happened. Maybe you see yourself in a certain setting on a stage, or someone you're becoming that represents a future you. Or you could have more than one memory. And as you experience it, just see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel the fullness of what it feels like to be so you. What is that feeling like? And I would invite you to consider that that feeling is actually the frequency of your soul. It's actually the energy that you came to the planet to be for the rest of us. And it is this energy, this feeling that you are here to make visible. This is what soul made visible means. You take the essence of your soul, what that feels like, and you express it in the world, in every area of your life, including your soul work, your abundance, your business, but also in your health and your relationships and your home, the way you travel. And so just as you're aware of that feeling, realize that that is the feeling that connects you in the quantum realm to the highest timeline, where there is a version of you, your heaven on earth timeline, we could call it, where your future self already is. You could call that your soul embodied self, your higher self, your future self, but this you is already living that heaven on earth, already fully expressing your soul essence in form. And I like to say this is your highest, wisest guide, your greatest advisor. And so you can become aware of this version of you in whatever way it might look. It might come into visual awareness for you, as somebody that looks like you, a version of you coming towards you. Or they might make themselves visible to you in some other way. An energy, an animal, a symbol. But just allow this representation of your soul, of your highest self, of your future self, that has the whole overview of your path. There is no separation. It's all simultaneous. So what's a game we play that seems linear? And as they come up right close to you, make that connection, come into communion together. If it's a version of you, maybe you're connecting through the eyes, maybe you're connecting through the heart. And you're just receiving their love, pride in you, celebration for how far you've come. And opening to receive that connection, receive that transmission energetically, and also receive a message, a first message that might come in words, images, symbols, or feelings. What does this highest, wisest guide want you to know to begin? It could be about anything, any message that's right for you for this moment. Trusting whatever you've received is right, even if it seems like nothing. You've received it, and it may come to you in the perfect moment later today or in the coming days. So trust what you've gotten. And I'm going to invite you to presence whatever you are aware of that you are shedding, whether it was something specific, whether it was the symbol of the snake shedding its skin, and you've got that, you've shed your skin, you've got this shell left. Maybe it's some other symbol of that which does not reflect your highest good, your highest truth, or your highest path. So whatever came to you, or it could just come fresh in this moment, whatever symbol, whatever awareness you have of that which you're leaving behind, that which represents what would interfere with the fullness of you stepping into your soul's expression this year, whatever the soul project is that's next for you, whatever that is that would seemingly oppose it, right? All that is just old patterns trying to keep you safe, conditioning that you picked up along the way from your journey or from your ancestors or from any other kinds of influences in your life. Whatever that symbol is, whatever you're aware of around that, hold it in your hands. And if it's too big for that, you can shrink it down to be held in your hands and hand it to this wise guide, your soul self, your future self, signifying its completion, signifying your willingness to let it go with grace, with compassion, with honor. None of these old things were ever trying to hurt you. They were part of the human journey. And you can allow your guide to do with that whatever is their choice. It could dissolve in their hands. They could send it to the sun. It could transform into sparkles or butterflies or whatever is true for you. They've received it, and you are symbolically complete. Does it mean you'll never experience again? Maybe. Or if you do, you will navigate it differently. You will have a more conscious chance to take that fork in the road and not allow it to distract or derail you. And so from this place of completion and now openness to receive, allow your guide here, your soul, to offer you whatever it is that represents your next soul project, whatever it is that would support you in making your soul visible. You might already have known what it was, and you're receiving confirmation, or you might be receiving something different than you thought, or something new that you hadn't considered at all. Or you may receive a symbol of it without yet knowing exactly what it is. But the symbol is enough. So receive the symbol and what the symbol feels like. Maybe your higher self, soul self, is speaking to you about this, or maybe they simply give you a symbol, or both. I'll give you a moment here to commune together and receive what you're meant to receive. If you have a clarifying question, you can ask it. This is a two-way dialogue, so it's wonderful to receive, and it's wonderful to know that you can also ask for a clarification. There's something that you need to know about what you've received. You can ask it, or you can simply open to receive anything else your guidance wants to offer you. Remembering that this could be a big thing, like a major project like I did, or it could be a very small thing, but that it's the right thing to help bring your soul into form and express your next level of embodiment and gifts in the world. You can't get it wrong. So remember that you cannot get it wrong, and you can also come back and do this again if you wish to. And if there is any specific next step, if you have this, whatever it is, whatever the project is, whatever the symbol of it might be, if there is a specific next step for you to take, because it might be bigger, it might take time to bring this into form, what is the very next step in the direction of this soul project? Make the invisible visible, to be an expression of your soul in form. Trusting whatever you've received has been perfect for you. Saying thank you to your guide here. Knowing that there may be more coming through for you in the coming hours and days. And that you're always supported. You always have access to your highest self, your future self as your wisest guide. You can always reconnect. So saying thank you, maybe you give a hug if that's the form they're in. Maybe you do a little dance together. And when you're ready, you can take a nice breath, slow, deep, conscious breath. Gently moving fingers and toes, coming back into the body in this time and place. Maybe a gentle twist or stretch. Slowly, when you're ready, opening your eyes. And if you want to capture something in your journal, you can do that. Whatever you received. And if you want to share with us, I would love to hear. And so I'll just say a few words too about this kind of a journey. It is highly activating what you've just experienced. So allow yourself to really receive the fullness of it. You know, it does reorganize reality. It reorganizes circuits in your system. And reality actually does morph around you. I mean, literally, we're in a quantum reality. So as you shift, all of reality does shift. I always recommend drinking lots of water after a journey like this. Grounding if you can, if you're in a place where you can be outside in nature. But there are other ways, like if you can go stand in your bare feet on the grass, if you're in a place like that. But if not, there are many ways to ground. Water, take a bath, grounding foods, root vegetables. So lots and lots of ways. But be sure to ground, be sure to hydrate. They don't knock you out, but you might find, oh, I need to just lie down for a minute. Not because you're not because you're knocked out, but because, oh, I'm integrating. Let me just pause for a minute. So just trust what your body needs, but honor it. It's not small. And if you want to share anything that you received, I would love to hear. You're so welcome, Daniela. You're welcome, Anique. Okay, we've got a few shares here. I'm going to read them in a second. If you have any questions too, I'd be delighted to, if I can shed some light on something that you got that maybe didn't make sense. And really, this call is just a service to you today to kick off this new year, to reconnect in 2025. It's the first call of the year. There's no invitation, no offering here today, but there will be a way to actually take a step forward and be supported in your soul project. And I'll be sharing that as I've got some things coming into form. So I'll be letting you know later this month, and you can tune in and see if any of those would be of service to you. But for now, just take what you've received, trust that it's been perfect. And I'm going to read some of these things that you've shared. So I've got a private message here, the message that I am fully supported and to just take the next best step and trust the process. All is coming. Everything is in motion. Beautiful. Isn't that a beautiful feeling, right? That sort of transmission of confidence, safety, like you're on track, all is well. It's beautiful. Carolyn, I found myself feeling very emotional, as in some ways I am so in the goo of transformation right now, and I'm not really able to see my highest future self clearly. It did feel very loving and affirming, though, too. Just trust the process. Yeah, great. You can't do it wrong. Doesn't matter if you don't have a specific vision or whatever. The feeling is the key. So if you felt that loving and affirming energy, wonderful. Take it. Sandra, I got a maple leaf as a symbol, maple leaves as a symbol of the connection between heaven and earth. We know that the Celts worshipped many trees. The maple tree was one of them. The white bark of the trunk and the five-part leaf, reminiscent of the human hand, were seen as a sign of the connection between the world of the gods and humans. How beautiful. Sandra's saying she looked it up. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Love it. So, like, wow, the sacredness of that. Awesome. Bridget, thank you so much. You're so welcome. Glad it was wonderful for you. Bree, thank you. So precious and amazing. You're welcome. Kathy, sending love and gratitude right back to you. Tina, Sandra, I will re-listen to the meditation as my mind wandered a bit. Great. Yeah, you'll have it. Kim, I felt a lot of heat and a star with streamers was the symbol. Gorgeous. Love it. Andrea, also, I was also advised to pencil in Saturday morning, Saturday strategy sessions for myself for the scarier stuff moving forward to keep my weekdays free, to immerse myself in the feeling and movement of my soul project. Beautiful. Love it. Yeah. That's great. That idea of, thank you for saying that. I could add that to my, list of lessons. And this is not a new one. And most of us have heard this before, but do the hard thing first, because I found it very draining when I had so many things to do and so many decisions to make to put off the scarier things, because I had so many things I could distract myself with before doing the scary things. And it wasn't helpful energetically. Like, if you're attuned to your energy and you realize how draining it is to hold something in your awareness, to hold something like that you're avoiding or not wanting to deal with, um, you realize, making those appointments with yourself to do the hard things first kind of thing. So I love that, Andrea or Andrea. Um, Neha, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Great. All right. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes. So if anybody else wants to share, I've got a few minutes more. Peterson, I received a colorful dragonfly as a symbol in my mind, but was handed a box and opened it, and it was a dragonfly ring that I ordered days ago. I also see that there was an owl as someone's profile pic, another sign I asked for yesterday in regard to a question I asked to creator. So wild. Yes, it is wild. I love it. And owl is my totem animal, my core totem animal. So owls see in the dark. So thanks for the reminder of my totem animal. Joe Morgan, thank you so much for sharing your learning. The soul learning I've put aside. Now it needs to be prioritized. Okay, great. Carolyn, these are also great to hear. Thank you so much. If this is just so helpful. Happy New Moon Year of the Snake, everyone. You're so welcome, Carolyn. I'm glad it was helpful. Cass, yes, I have burnt out by avoiding moving from the house I've been receiving guidance to move out of for 3 years following the death of my husband, and that this is my ticket to freedom to be able to embody my soul project and stop trying to do it until I move house. Something about it bringing new energy. Wow, that's powerful. Fantastic. Excellent. Daily, hi. Still integrating. It's profound what came through. Fantastic. All right. Well, you feel free to share with me when you get it. Sarah, my future self handed me a gold bar as a symbol of my inherent value. Absolutely. Inherent value. We do not have to earn it. Love it. I integrated the gold as a profound awareness through my cells, marrow, muscles, being. I asked for next steps and saw a gold spoon, gold pen, how to make my soul's embodied value more visible. Beautiful. Love it. And, I want to say to everyone, like, don't underestimate the power of these symbols, because the subconscious, the soul and the subconscious speak in symbols. So you can be receiving a symbol and the mind is like, well, what am I going to do with that? Well, you get the symbol in the subconscious and then it flowers into tangibles. So trust yourself that you got the right thing, you got the right message, you got the right form of it, and it will come into the tangible, practical things in perfect timing. Iman, thank you, Lisa. As always, you took me into the light and I felt tingling with powerful downloads coming in. I didn't get any clear answers, but I will lean into patience and trust and wait for all to be revealed. Perfect. You got what you needed in this moment. You can do it again if you want to. Expect clarity. This is for you, Iman, and everybody. Expect clarity. Have your pen and paper with you, or a note in your phone dedicated to downloads or soul guidance or whatever you want to call it, right? Expect that in the coming hours, days, even weeks, you're going to start to receive messages. Stay attuned for intuitive nudges. Stay attuned for people, it could be that the sign comes through something somebody says or a book that you notice on the shelf, or it could be any which way, right? We all know how those intuitive nudges from soul or from the divine come. Kafika, hi. Thank you, Lisa. Powerful. I released and felt a lot of energy and will take this with me in my day and my soul's path. Amazing. Sandra, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Susie, Buffalo breathed out golden energy that I could breathe in, supporting me, encouraging me. I love it. Iman, you always lead us into such powerful activation energy. Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you for being here because I can't fulfill my mission without you all willing to receive it. So it's a mutual, beautiful thing. Thank you for that. Catherine, a butterfly stretching out of the safety of its cocoon. I was in my truest, vibrant form. Thank you, beautiful Lisa. I love it. Awesome, Catherine. Thank you for being here. Brenda, thank you so much. Love your sharing and your guidance is invaluable. Happy Lunar New Year. Thank you, Brenda. You're so welcome. Nice to see you here. Wonderful to see all of you here. Thank you. And thank you to those, again, tuning in later on the recording. Like, feel free to hit reply to the email that the recording comes in and let me know what happened for you so you can be witnessed and received in whatever came through for you. Last call. Anybody want to share any last thing or question or anything that would be helpful? And if not, we'll wrap up and I'll be back to you soon about ways that, if you're bringing a soul project into form, I have definitely ways that I can support you in that of different types. I sing a song that came to me, creating heaven on earth. Bridget, beautiful, beautiful. Sarah, thank you, Triple Threat Aquarius. Sarah, thank you, Sarah, for all the ways you continue to support and amplify our unique soul blueprint in form. Thank you, Sarah. So happy you're here. All right, everybody, we'll call it a wrap here. Sending you all love, Lunar New Year blessings, Year of the Wood Snake blessings, Aquarius blessings, 2025 blessings, and yeah, just thank you for being on this journey. It's, not for the faint of heart. We know it, right? So it's really special that we get to gather and share and know that we're not alone and amplify each other's efforts. So, Heather, so much love and gratitude to you all. Yes, so much love and gratitude to you all. All right, everybody. More soon. Bye for now.